Good evening and welcome to the St. Petersburg by Night Podcasting Network. Tonight, we present to you our Werewolf the Apocalypse Chronicle, Rage Across Tampa.
Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing dire of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the warring forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is a World of Darkness community broadcasting from St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Kent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. And it's Tuesday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Rage Across Tampa, our 5th edition World of Darkness Chronicle set in the city of Tampa Bay, Florida, where the Sept of the Evening Star attempts to combat the forces of the worm, both physically and spiritually. If you like what you hear here, you should go follow St. Pete by Night on all of that social media you see listed down below and in the description. And if you really like what you see here, you should go join our community by following that Discord link you see in the description, where you could take part in one of the many activities we have taking place all month long. We also have a couple of new tables starting up soon, so you could actually be participating in one of the World of Darkness games or chronicles that we have taking place on our server. So just follow that Discord link and you too could be delving deep into the World of Darkness, which is apropos if you're actually looking at the episode number that we're on today. But that's the last time I'm going to reference it this evening. Of course, I couldn't tell this amazing story by myself. It would take some pretty incredible players to make it happen. So let's go ahead and introduce those incredible players. Now, players, go ahead and introduce yourselves if you please.
Hi, everybody. I'm Champ, Champagne, Dudesel in Distress, whatever you want to call me, and I'll be playing Aspen Weiss, Philodox of the Silverfangs.
Hi everybody, I'm Noree, and I'll be playing Malicious Jester, the Galliard of the Black Furies.
Hey everybody, I'm Walks, and I will be playing Lucas Shaw, the Ragabash of the Shadow Lords. And does it feel like we shed some dead weight lately?
Wow. Hey everybody, my name's Preston. I play Jason, Dreams-In-Decay, Thorne, the Urge of the Bonar.
So, players, indeed, Tampa has emptied out a little bit after there have been some departures from the area as the young pack known as the Hellhounds were sent north to Michigan to try and retrieve some iron from their old sept from a very, very prestigious iron mine in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. But that's not the only source of iron that this sept has found, as they have made a deal with Edward Bateman, the Ventru Prince of Tampa, to source some iron in a ceasefire with the Leeches of Tampa, brokered by the sept leader Aspen Weiss. Of course, they did not inform the young pack of this deal before sending them off, knowing that it would make their journey seemingly meaningless, even though it's obvious that they are being sent up there as an alternative to this deal that is being brokered with Edward Bateman. But Aspen did break the news to the rest of the pack, and it was not necessarily the best received news, but everyone did ask their questions and eventually come to terms with it. Everyone else was caught up to date on all of the other information and all of the other news as the sept gathered together and met. And then eventually, Jester and Lucas went to the biker club and made the transition from the biker club of old to the Howlers. However, this also wasn't necessarily well received, and the biker club split into two separate factions as the vice president took half of the biker club with them to go join the cartel and to start a new club under their leadership, which left the remaining half to become the Howlers under the leadership of Bruce, Lucas, and Jester. Larry, who has been maintaining a distance from the pack ever since finding out of his destiny or fate, did stay behind, staying with the Howlers, but has still ever since maintained some distance, still seemingly trying to process everything that has happened since. Charles decided to take Jace out for some field training out to a farmland where some of these zombie-esque plant-infected creatures had been sprouting up. But in the field training exercise, while Jace did show some improvement with firearms, it seems that they literally bit off more than they can chew, or they could chew, when they encountered a large wolf-like plant creature that attacked them at the end of their training exercise, that sent them quite literally running for the hills. And if they had not made it to the highway in time, they may not have escaped successfully. However, the creature did break off the chase as soon as they made it to the entrance to the highway. And that is where our story picks up this evening, as an emergency meeting is called once again, and the pack returns together at the cairn late in the evening to gather together for an emergency gathering. When everyone arrives at the cairn, parking in their usual kind of off-the-road parking spots, they do find Charles's luxury automobile with the back end completely, almost entirely destroyed and smashed in. Both sides, bashed in on both sides, the back bumper completely torn off of the vehicle. Approaching the cairn, you find that Jace and Charles are waiting along with Eliza, and the scene begins with all of you gathered together in the cairn.
Okay, so what now?
What happened?
Charles just looks towards Jace.
I feel like I keep coming to you guys with all the weird shit. Okay, so Charles, he's been kind of helping me with guns and stuff like that. So we went and did a field exercise, and that went as you would expect. Charles did great. Jester, I totally get it. By the way, I understand him. But we'll talk about that later. Anyways, the after we took care of the zombie plant people, Charles said that it was done and we were going to leave that area. It was some farm way off somewhere. And that's when I kind of heard something way off at the edge, kind of along the forest line itself. There was this huge, and I mean huge. He looks at Charles. Wolf, I guess, for lack of better term. But it wasn't. It looked to be made of plants. At that point, Charles and I ran to the vehicle and we did our escape. While Charles was fighting off, I attempted to drive us away. During that, Charles has a shotgun that was doing really well against the zombie creatures. It was igniting them on fire, and it was doing great. Shooting this big wolf, it seemed to do nothing to it. It more just glanced off of it instead of igniting it like it did the other plants. And it was pursuing us until we got to the highway. And once we actually got onto it, it stopped chasing. Only thing we could deduce is that it almost knew not to follow any further.
Charles, who's loosened his tie, and actually the top buttons of his shirt are undone, and you can tell that he is a little disheveled after the evening's events. I had located a particular breeding ground for these creatures. A patch of land where they seemed to be popping up, and I had been maintaining this area for some time. Seemed like a good place to keep them at bay, to keep them from spreading. Seemed to be a area that they had been gathering. And so to keep it from getting into the city, I would keep it trimmed back for as long as possible. I couldn't get to the source of it, but every time it would sprout up at night, I would push it back. Jester, you've been with me a few times. For the most part, it would help me identify the different forms these creatures would take. And so I was able to classify what they were capable of and what they could do. Most of them, it seemed, would be vulnerable to intense heat, phosphorus, fire. Dragon's breath rounds were especially effective. When they weren't attached to the earth, they couldn't regenerate as effectively unless they were the large formations like we saw at Stepford Hell. Fire would completely destroy them. Intense fire. So I thought taking Jason out to the field would be a good training exercise. I was prepared for any possibilities and did not predict any issues. This creature we encountered was unlike anything we've encountered before. Large. As Jason said, effectively about 15 feet in size. It took the shape of a wolf or a quadrupedal creature, a beast of some form. It was fast, was powerful, and yes, it seemed to be able to shrug off the effects of dragon breath rounds, not even slowing it down, even though it did seem to be made of some moss, wood, and vine-like structure. It also acted with an independence and intelligence unlike any of the other creatures we've encountered so far. Where the others were slow and moved with a hive mind-like intelligence, this moved much differently. Feral is the only way I can put it.
Charles, do you think this was one of us?
No. I did not notice anything of organic material. This seemed to be purely made of earth. Now, to say it wasn't inspired by us, that I couldn't say.
When you were leaving, did it seem it was heading back the direction it came, or what did you see on your way out?
Didn't really stop to make sure, but it looked like it stopped and wasn't pursuing any further. So as far as what it did afterwards, we had gotten onto the road and just kept driving. But it did not chase us any further once we actually got onto the road. All the way up to that, it was continuously on the bumper.
So kind of like it was guarding its territory or that area, since you said you thought it might be some sort of staging ground if all
Could
of
be.
them are gravitating to it.
One thing that I've recognized about these creatures is they are very aware of the attention that they garner. They tend to only pop up at night, in the depths of dark and evening, and they stay away from highly populated areas, except when to infect. For example, the blossoming volcanic eruptions of spores. Those are in more populated areas. But once they become infected, they tend to move away from populated areas. At least when the infection grows bad enough. They don't want to be noticed, at least not yet.
So you don't believe that they would be a threat, immediate threat to citizens?
Either that or it's a slow spread. They're intending to infect over time, but they don't want anyone catching on.
How many
I
other
mean,
places? Sorry.
getting a massive amount of attention so quickly before, I guess, they're fully prepared to make a move would be detrimental to them. Once you get, Center for Disease Control looking into something like a massive infection and attention like that, things could be put to a stop really quickly. So probably waiting or doing it slowly, nobody will notice until it's too late.
Resources of Pentex, much like the resources of leeches are vast, but even they have their limitations.
It's just like any other mushroom plant species. They're waiting for the perfect conditions, the perfect opportunity, the perfect balance to massively emerge.
So that does, in a way, give us the upper hand, correct? If they're being cautious, then we hit them where they stay. They don't want to be seen.
At this point, Eliza speaks up. Well, and as we all know, it's coming close to that time of year again. Storm season. That's the perfect time for these creatures and these conditions to manifest. The humidity will be at its peak. The conditions will be ripe.
It's already started storming a lot recently.
With the winds to spread the spores, with the damp, it would be ripe for infection, and it will keep it in the air. I believe this is a staging period. They're circling the mushrooms surrounding the city and preparing to release a massive cloud for when the storm strikes.
Charles, how many of these places do you know about?
I have found 4 separate locations, all of them on the outskirts.
Near each other, or are they spread out as well?
Spread out. Some even as far as about an hour away.
And this is the first time you've seen anything similar to this creature, correct?
Yes. Usually they are human or animal. Or the bird-like creatures that we have seen as of late.
She's panicking. She knows what we did with Luis, what me and Eliza did, and so she needs an answer to us. That's her answer. Fight fire with fire, I guess.
I agree. It's a reckless move. To put such a creature out there is to invite attention. But it also could draw attention to our activities. Someone notices a large wolf-like creature. Everyone is going to be on their guard. Everyone is going to be more aware of the things happening around them. Which means our activities will be under close watch.
This requires more than a measured response. This requires a show of power.
I agree. We know generally where they are. We go out, we go looking, we take care of the problem.
We could take out one of these circles, start with one, possibly move on to the others. The creature, however, was not slowed by the usual methods. I believe it would require iron.
We don't have enough of that right now to take care of that thing.
No.
We have some, but no, not the amount we likely need for that.
How much do we need, realistically?
For a creature of that size, likely something the size of a spear. And it would probably have to be a direct hit to its core. We know where the core of it is.
Me and Eliza found a knife. It's pure, already forged and ready to use. We could disassemble it and reassemble it as a spear, but it's our only one.
When I say spear, I mean the entire shaft of it would need to be made of iron as well.
Yeah, we don't have that much.
The entire spear would need to be embedded almost like a stake into the creature.
Yeah.
That suggests getting really close to it. Like,
I know.
Okay. You saw what it did to the back of your car, right?
Yes. If you hadn't been present, I would have attempted to see what its weaknesses were.
Well, I'm glad I was there then, because I don't think that would have ended the way you think it is.
So, I speak with Bateman. Get more iron. How long would it take to make a spear like that?
I've got blanks already made. I've been working on those the last couple of weeks. So, one that size, day or two. And I want to temper it correctly, and I want to make sure it's strong enough.
Then we make it happen. We get out there as quickly as we can.
Yeah, I'll
But
get on it.
that does bring up a larger problem. At what point do we cut the head off the snake? If they're planning this much, if they're planning the wet season to really enact everything, we get the iron, everything goes to plan. We get the iron, we dispatch, we get rid of the plants, and then what, they make more plants?
We should get the iron and go after Piney Point. And then take care of the plants afterwards. You usually cut the head off the snake first.
You can heal the poison, but if the snake's still biting, what good does it do?
It's a big fucking snake, though. It's going to take more than the people sitting at this table to do that. Big snake. That facility's not going to be easy to get into or out of when we're done. Unless we're ready to make some really hard choices that aren't going to have a great effect on Gaia.
And despite their problems, we did just send half of our forces away. And they have shown great improvement.
I understand that. I wasn't expecting to go after them today. I think if part of them coming back is in hopes that they bring more iron for us to have, I wouldn't do this without them bringing us what we need, of course. But it's a conversation I think we all need to have now. It's gotten to this point.
Question. Is it possible to tip the end of a bullet with this iron? Would it still operate the same? Like, obviously, I think it'd be a lot heavier, but would it operate the same?
Yeah. It's going to be soft, though.
Also,
gonna
the
be the
heat
problem.
from the gunpowder could potentially be problematic and could cause impurities within the iron.
I was just thinking of a different way to approach this than being right up on the thing.
Strangely enough, ball shot from muskets would be more effective than our modern firearms.
I don't think I've
Thrown
shot
weapons.
I am prepared to make a lot of arrowheads. A lot.
As far as Piney Point, I know we've decided not to look into it further as far as recon, but if we're wanting to do this there, I think we need to get a better. Lucas, when was the last time you were there?
Look over to Aspen. This is the last time I talked to you about it. That night, so a 3 months ago.
A lot can happen in 3 months.
Yeah.
And the spirits I asked to go and look into it didn't come back so hot. But if we can find a way to get additional recon on that place, try and find a weak point. I do agree cutting the head off the snakes, get this thing done. I think more more knowledge on what's going on is going to be more beneficial.
I agree. I think we should also be speaking with your friends, Jason. It seems like they have some knowledge of what's going on. But I know that we need to start taking steps that direction. So what steps need to be taken to get us to the snake itself?
We need to shore up whatever resources we can get. Iron, yes, but manpower, we don't know what we're going to be facing or how many. We aren't the only ones affected by this, and while I am always hesitant to draw upon a truce, if the leeches are, in fact, going to abide by any kind of truce, they should prove it. Even if they act as a distraction. The more bodies, the better, and I'd rather they're sacrificed than us.
Spud also might be a viable option too. He may not want to directly participate, but he might be able to arrange some form of assistance. And of course, not to be directly involved in conflict, but more or less in support operations, the club. I'm sure Bruce would want to help in the best way and the safest way possible.
Artie, who's been relatively quiet this whole time, looks towards Aspen and Jester. What about Alice? I know that we've not talked about her because she has not wanted anything to do with us, but this is affecting people more than anything we've ever done. And we don't know what she can do or what she has or what she's capable of. She has to know something weird is happening. She was very aware of you when you went to visit the ministries last time. She's got her ear to the ground. She has to know what's going on. Maybe she knows something we don't.
It's an avenue. I worry the more eyes we have on us, the more dangerous it could be. We already have a somewhat of a truce with Bateman. Opening up something like that with Alice even farther, it's a bit risky. And then we have the Jason stuff with those people potentially looking in on us. How many eyes do we want on us?
Not wrong.
It's a legitimate question. If everyone is open to it, I'm open for the discussion. I understand the risk that we would be taking in all of those avenues.
I think that one way or another, whether it happens now or it happens later, those eyes are going to fall here eventually. At this rate. This infection can't go unnoticed for long. This grand design of theirs won't go unnoticed forever. Now, maybe it'll happen once it's too late to do anything about it, but it will go noticed. Eventually. So, yeah, go ahead, Jester.
I'd rather have Alice than Bateman. And she might be a good source to possibly give the formula for a cure for people. She's concerned about helping just humans. As for Bateman, he obviously has ties with Vanessa. He's staying in an apartment that they built and protecting, and apparently had black spiral dancers there. What if he has intel on Piney Point?
Are you suggesting asking Bateman what he knows?
hate it. But might be a better alternative to risking someone going out and trying to scout again. It's not turned out well for us so far when we've tried.
Aspen will look over to Charles after a moment. What does this mean for us, security-wise, making these different connections?
Completely exposes us. Whatever notion of secrecy we have is gone. Anyone and everyone will know that we are here at that point. But no one you have mentioned so far seems naive to our presence. The leeches know we're here. This Alice, though I don't know the details of them, seems to know we're here. So, furthering their knowledge of the situation wouldn't necessarily be a security breach for us. But it does potentially put them in further harm's way. It does potentially expose them to infection if they go to investigate on their own, and therefore could be offering a tool to the enemy. If they grow curious, if they grow bold, if they aren't fully prepared for what they face, then the enemy just grows stronger. But as long as they aren't brought to the cairn or shown our resources, the security risk is minimal. Now, bringing them to any form of assault, there is a risk with that because we are exposing our back to them in a very, very vulnerable situation.
Okay. Aspen will look over to Eliza and Jason. Having more involvement with the leeches, what does that mean when it comes to the spirits?
I'm not going to be overly happy about it. It also really depends on which spirit we're really dealing with overall. But I'm going to say a larger majority aren't going to be overly thrilled.
The leeches themselves are not... They're not very spiritually entwined. They really have little to no impression in the Umbra. Now, there have been a few that have learned how to traverse the Umbra, which is a further disgrace and an abomination of its own. How they have learned such abilities is beyond me, but they themselves have minimal impact. Now, spiritually, as Jace has stated, the spirits don't care much for them, but Guru have worked alongside leeches in the past and have been able to cohabitate. Chicago being a primary example. She looks over towards Lucas, but such things are often short-lived. The spirits are going to do what they've always done. They will see it as a moment in time and they will feel how they feel about it, but most of them will just ignore it, overlook it, especially if it has very little to do with or impacts them. And if they see that it is for the purpose of dealing with a greater threat, I believe most of them will understand.
I agree with parts of that, but you also have to remember the spirits aren't overly happy with what's going on to begin with. And
That's true.
continuing to put things to tip the tides further one way than the other and not restoring the balance, it's showing that you're willing to work with one side more than the other.
Then on that note, what spirits could we work with that would help with this?
That's hard. The spirits that Aspen and I went to go talk to the first time, I thought were going to be great, but they were corrupted. So that's the other thing. I don't want to send spirits in and try and have them go through the same thing. Trying to talk to a spirit that might know what the situation better than the ones we talked to previous might be able to aid us, but that means I gotta get closer to the actual area to actually talk to those spirits, because they're going to be the ones directly affected. And if I can get to the right ones, they'd be willing to help.
Well, even in that space, spirits within the Umbra, I'm sure they know something of the black spirals, if anything.
Yeah.
Have you talked to any of the spirits about what's been happening with the ones that have been infected?
Not a whole lot. I recently got let out of the care, so I haven't really done a whole lot. The ones that I talked to prior, yes and no. They're more staying out of that area, and really had to force the other ones to even go look into it.
I wasn't even talking about Piney Point. I was talking about the Weaver spirits that have been infected.
Oh no, I've not talked to any of them. It's hard to get an audience with any of them right now.
Maybe, I don't know, spirits that aren't infected may know something.
Most of the Weaver spirits that have been infected are very, very mechanical in nature. They serve a purpose and they're not going to have any thought. They're not going to have any, they're just going to be directives. They're going to serve a purpose and a purpose only, as they did before they were infected. That's why they chose those spirits specifically. They chose pattern spiders specifically because of how limited they were in their purpose to begin with. It was actually, from a spiritual perspective, pretty smart of them to pick those spirits, because those spirits did not have necessarily a grand plan or intelligent thought. They would just build and rebuild. That is all they knew, that is all they would do. This creator, whoever it is that is enacting this design now, whether it is this Vanessa or this Valor, they've planned this for some time. They have been preparing for this, and they have done some research. To enact a design or a plan like this isn't on impulse. They prepared. And it is going exactly how they wanted it to go. They made it a difficult situation to unravel. What they didn't prepare for was the staff to come and to Jace's possession. They didn't prepare for us to make the connection between the Fae and Pentex. And therefore the iron being our primary advantage and their primary weakness. Because if we didn't know that, it wouldn't matter if we figured everything else out. This would be a losing battle.
Does pose an interesting question, Jace. What about your friends, your new friends? Could they be of any assistance?
They're so scared right now, and they're strictly in hiding. The brief conversation bringing up what happened just for that moment seemed to put them into an even bigger state of fear. I can try and talk to them and see if they can aid us in another way, but an outright fight, no, they might be able to provide further intelligence on weaknesses and things like that, or be able to give us a resource that maybe we're overlooking. I don't know, but I can talk to them more and see what I can glean from it, but I don't foresee them actually being in the fight.
Charles kind of grunts and looks over towards Jace. No offense to your new friends, but I'm not just going to buy them time to run. If they want our assistance, they're going to have to also do something in return. We didn't ask for this. They thrust it upon us. They thrust it upon you.
To that point, I think we talk to the best of them, talk to the leader, look back at Charles.
I agree. We can ask questions of the underlings all night long. But the one who has the answers has been suspiciously quiet on the matter.
And we get some answers. But before we do that, in case anything goes wildly sideways, I had a conversation with Jason. I think it's about time we officially bring him into the pack.
I agree.
Objections from me.
Sounds good.
Then I think we bring Star and we make it official. And Aspen will go into her purse and pull out her very similar moon water that she's had every time she's interacted with Star, just to have them out. She'll put them in front of the table, like out on the table, in a spot where the stars are peeking through the trees. Jester, do you want to do the honors?
Sure. Starlight, starbright, prettiest star I see tonight. Wish I may, wish I might. Please come and visit us tonight.
Overhead, the twinkling stars, though mostly obscured by cloud cover from the storms that seem to be brewing out in the Gulf beyond. A break in the clouds forms, and one of the stars glows even brighter before it starts to fall. Now, everyone except Jace, who doesn't have this ongoing penumbral senses in the cairn yet, sees this falling star come drifting down towards the cairn. And as it falls, it doesn't fall like a meteor. It eventually starts to slow, then almost becomes a feather as it starts to drift from one side to the other, as if almost on a swing, going back and forth, side to side. And then it starts to spiral round and round as skirts, almost like an umbrella, start to just spin around, drifting down towards the center of the table, until this young teenage woman, glowing and radiant, stands upon the center of the table. Her image, a mixture of both Aspen and Jester. She gazes around with a bright smile at everyone. Hi, everybody. You called?
Hi, Star. Yes, we have very important business, as our friend Jason here, she'll nod her head to Jason, is going to officially join us as a pack, and you as his patron.
Oh. Well, isn't that lovely? Is he sure? I mean, he already has somebody speaking for him currently. He'd have to, trade up.
Aspen will look over to Jason, kind of nudge her head.
Hi. To your question. Yes. It's something that I'm willing to do. Having your blessing here would be a huge asset, where having one so far away doesn't seem prudent to have that. Where I've only heard good things about you. But in a trade up, sure.
Trade, sideways. I'm not trying to
A
insult
lateral,
any.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You get it. Or I guess trade directionally up, since they're down here and I'm up there, and it's kind of like
That's fair.
elevated, so to speak. Trade in elevation type thing. But that's neither here nor there. Well, you've been doing a lot of good work here. And I appreciate you helping and taking care of everyone. And I know that you've been feeling kind of down lately with being, sicky wicky, and that's no good. But I know that you're working to get better. There is one little kind of issue of sorts. She gestures to the staff. You're kind of spoken for, sort of. Partially.
All right.
That's not a deal breaker. I just want you to know. It's just going to make things complicated. So I would need to have a powwow of sorts with your other entity. But I can do that. That's not an issue. It's just we need to get on terms together and make sure we're cool before, there's a conflict.
Yeah, we don't want that.
No, because they are they're bigger than I am in terms of, yeah.
I understand what you're saying. I can't speak for them, but
No, I get that.
Talk between the two of you. I think that would be great. Find a common ground.
Great. Well, you guys can talk amongst yourselves for a minute. I will just hop on over and I'll be back in a jiff. She walks over on the table and just leans over to the staff and reaches over and pokes at one of the symbols on the staff, and as she does so, she just evaporates into the symbol on the staff, just getting sucked into the symbol.
I'm sure she's fine.
It's like a spirit conference call.
Spirits do what spirits do, man.
That's a t-shirt.
About 10 seconds later, the symbol glows, and then she pops out. And as she pops out, she's wearing a flower crown around her head. And she's got like wide eyes, bigger than like natural on her face. Okay, that's new. Wow. You think you've seen everything? Okay. So, yeah, we're good. He doesn't claim any kind of ownership over you. He just says as long as you have the staff, he still just wants access, but otherwise he doesn't say you're his or anything, so we're good. Whew. Yeah. She shakes her head and blinks a few times, and her eyes just shrink back down to normal size. Yeah, so, okay. Well, do you promise to serve your pack and to, serve Gaia and do good things and combat the worm wherever it dwells and all that good stuff?
You're adorable. I do.
Great. Welcome to the family. She
Thank you.
walks over and grabs the moon water from Aspen, opens the jar and just dips a little bit on her finger, then closes it and hands it back, and then walks over and touches both of Jace's eyes. And as she does so, you feel this kind of wet sting on your eyes. And as you do, you get that hazy penumbral senses feeling kind of activate without any force of will from you that you usually have to enact. And the vision of the cairn changes. Now, it looks as it normally does when you have the activated penumbral senses, but it doesn't turn off. It doesn't go away.
Ooh. I like it. Thank you.
Yeah. All good here.
Hey,
Thank
Star.
you, Star.
Yeah.
You know what's going on, right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any advice?
Well, it's really hard to stay positive when you see a lot of bad things happening around you. Just seems like nothing you do matters. Seems like every little bit of good you do just gets responded to with even more bad. Seems like you can't get a leg up, or you can't take any steps forward. You just keep taking more steps back. But you just have to remember that stars are always shining. It's always a new night. There's always another chance. And as long as you keep shining, no matter how many clouds cover the sky, they can't put you out. They can't make you go away. They can't stop you. And those that want to see you, those that look hard enough, they'll find you. Stay positive. Keep moving forward. You'll find the answers. You'll find the solution. You can beat this. It's easy to be scared, but with the right encouragement, you'll find the will to win. Everybody wants to win.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also, roll out the welcome mat.
What?
To who?
Everyone.
Care to elaborate?
Vague statements.
Aspen will just smile and nod.
You'll see. Just try words first. That's all I'm gonna say. Try words. Don't try. Just try words first. Even though it doesn't seem the right thing to do. Try it. You might be surprised. Just try it.
Okay.
Brought me here, so
Yeah, if I could convince him, I can convince anybody.
it's true she did.
Grumpy, 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 grumpy. I want to be in the car by myself. I don't want to go to Florida.
He's still grumpy.
I was gonna say she's rubbing it in because it's still true. Yeah.
Boop.
So is that an only thing she can do, or can we boop you too?
You like both your hands?
Attached normally, yeah.
And you keep them away from me then. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yep.
Thank you, Star.
Mm-hmm. Okay, bye. She manifests this sparkly silver cord and she zings it up into the sky and then gives it a tug and then just goes spiraling up into the sky.
She's great.
Yeah.
She refuses to teach me how to do that.
I think it's a spirit thing.
It would be so cool, though.
Well, all that aside, what do you think she meant by the welcome mat? You seemed pretty confident, Aspen.
I just know that we have to be more open. With help. With communication, with all of it.
Guess that means more patrols for me.
Or security
more
around
than
the
like-
cairn.
That being said, I want to take another look at the farm. I want to go see if I can get a better look at what that creature was. I was more concerned with getting Jason out of there, but I think it would be a good idea if we all go back and investigate. If, in fact, they are protecting something there, if they felt the need to unleash whatever that creature was, perhaps there's something of greater importance there. And if we are going to strike back at one of their circles, that seems like it'd be a good one to hit.
You want to go back?
Yes.
And we, you mean like you, Jester, and Lucas, and Aspen, and Eliza, and Artie. We can stay here and make sure everything's all right.
I think you should come with us. More practice.
I think I'm good tonight, man.
Not tonight, in a few days.
You know, you don't have to get involved in the front line of the fight. We could use somebody who can look through the umbra on it. Maybe use your theurge abilities that you haven't been able to use in months. Stretch those.
Sure, why not? Charles apparently likes me behind him, but if that's fine, then yeah, I'd love to stay in the back.
Besides, if we encounter the creature, most likely Lucas, Jester, and I will be dealing with the creature. You'll need to take care of the others if there are others to be dealt with. You and Aspen will most likely have to deal with those, in which case I will give you the munitions necessary to take care of them very easily.
Goody.
I also had an idea. Seems like you're going to be carrying that staff for a little bit. And I had been experimenting with something that I learned on the road. What if you didn't have to carry the staff?
What do you mean?
Artie rolls up his sleeve, exposing the cheeseburger tattoo. And as he does, he reaches into the tattoo, digging his fingers into the tattoo before pulling out his laptop from the tattoo and setting it out on the table. So I've been working on a rite that would allow me to do this to other people. Now, I don't know 100% with how special that staff is, what that would mean, but with how important it is, it getting broken or lost seems like that'd be a very bad thing. And it also seems like it would handicap you having to, juggle it while also fighting or shifting forms. And if you could lose your gifts or be infected by mushrooms, if you dropped it, seems like it would be better if it was in you than on you.
Have you done this before?
Sure. I mean, I did it to myself.
A nice vote of confidence.
Yes,
You
I've
have
done
to-
it before. I mean, and I've just not done it with a staff.
You have to be a cheeseburger?
No, be whatever you want. This is for me.
You know what? Let's give it a shot. Yeah, the fight earlier tonight, it was kind of in the way. And then
Okay.
trying to drive away with the staff on my back was difficult.
All right, then we'll rest tonight and then we'll work on it tomorrow so that it's ready for when we decide to head out to the farm so that you're not, short-handed or juggling a big stick more than usual.
You walked in. That's not my fault.
To that point, when do we want to speak to the man with the staff?
That depends, Charles says. How do you call him?
He shows up when he wants. I'm asleep. I don't know.
Great.
So we catch him when Jace goes to sleep one night?
Kinda.
Do any of those little doodles work? Your little
Doodles?
runes on your staff.
There's ways I can communicate, apparently, to him. The ones I've tried doing in the past haven't been as effective. I can try doing it again, saying that my leader needs to talk to you. But I can't just bring him out, but I can try. I can try to at least let him know.
So dreams are important to him and these fairies, right?
Yeah.
Eliza, is there anything we could do to somehow draw him out purposely with some dreams somehow?
Like put him to sleep? Like put Jason to sleep?
Or in a
Well-
dream state? Yeah.
Much like spirits, as far as my research goes, Fae like offerings. So if you were to make some sort of offering to them, they might be appeased in that manner. Now, I don't have very much information about this particular entity to say for sure what it is that they would like, but
Jace, you've talked to him even before you got the staff. What was he like? What did he talk about? What was his interests?
He liked going the boardwalk. He liked being out there helping people. He used to bring him sub sandwiches. Not really too big on coffee.
Okay.
But
Stop thinking about what to give him. What did he like? What did he talk about? What was his interests?
people. He liked learning stories, hearing about people's travels, going and just taking walks, cleaning things up. He was always wanting to better others instead of himself. So his interests lie with other people. He's not a selfish type of person.
So people, travels, and stories.
That's basically it.
Something along those lines will work. Spirits aren't that different from people. Give them something that interests them.
Eliza, well, does anyone have anything with a story or from a journey? Something that has crossed a great distance? If they are in fact a wanderer or a traveler, as you've said,
I could come up with something. Could make a story.
I have something. And she'll pull the band off of her wrist. It's traveled quite a far ways.
are you certain?
Yeah.
That might be enough. You would just have to call out to them, I believe. What was their name, Jace?
Eshu.
Call out to them and ask them to come forward and offer out the offering, just like you would a spirit.
Okay. Do we want to do that here?
Well, they didn't seem to have any issue taking over Jace while they were here. Now, the only issue would be, Jace, if you feel any kind of pulling, you would have to lower your resistances as you are awake. It seemed to be a lot easier when you were asleep, but either that or I put you to sleep.
I'll try it at first, and if not, we can.
Fair enough.
Let her rip.
Eshu, I understand from what little I know about you that you enjoy stories and travels and things of that nature. I have something that I'd like to give as an offering. This is from a friend. He traveled, well, a lot as a wolf, and then traveled to Idaho to find me and help me in becoming what we are. And Well, there's a lot of stories there. One of my favorites is him not understanding what paper spray is and not understanding how to put fire into a can. But, and we had a lot of travels. We traveled from Idaho all the way here. Started this cairn, started a different cairn and found this cairn, and that's what made Lucas travel to us and Jason. And there's a lot of stories and all of that that's brought us all here. So I think if I could give you anything, it's kind of where it all started. And she'll take it off and wrap it around the staff.
Give me a charisma and occult.
Four. Oh, could I add my favor?
Yeah.
Since it's okay. 5.
Okay. The symbol on the staff that is of the key starts to glow. Jace, if you wish to resist, you can. No? Okay. Your vision starts to grow dark. And before you know it, it goes completely black. Jace's eyes droop and his head drops forward. And then a moment later, lifts up again, but his expression has completely changed. It has softened, and his eyebrows have lifted upwards in a very kind of bemused expression. Good evening.
Good evening. It's nice to finally meet you in the present.
I enjoyed your story. Very tragic conclusion, but the story is not quite over now, is it?
I don't
Just
believe so.
the chapter. But the journey never really ends. The silver path goes ever forward. Now, let's talk. You've called, I have answered. I suppose you want to know why I'm here and why I chose Jace. Well, really, Jace chose me.
I mean, he didn't know he was choosing you.
I'd like to believe a part of him did. Jace and I have had many long conversations. He was always looking for answers. Always wondering where the road was leading. And as you all know, there's only so much we can say. Our different sides have many tales to tell, but only certain individuals we can tell those tales to. Well, I came to learn that Jace was someone I felt I could tell many tales to. But there were tales that only he could see for himself. And truthfully, I needed his help.
You could have asked.
I could have. You're right. Call it pride, or years of having gotten what I've wanted, well, millennia of having gotten what I've wanted, that have made me forget my manners. Forgive me. But also the urgency of the matter couldn't allow me the possibility of him saying no. But in return, I'm more than happy to return the favor, and that is why my people are willing to help him in what he needs. What you all need. Not just with the issue we're all dealing with, but the greater issue your people are dealing with. The lost spirit. The one that sleeps along the path. Protect my people, and I will ensure, with all that I have at my disposal, that that spirit wakes and returns.
What can you tell us about our mutual problem?
You're getting close. You're figuring a great deal of it out on your own. However, it is not a god that you're contending with. Valor is dead. But the servants of Valor are not. You deal with one such servant. A powerful one at that. And yes, they are one of our people. Now, could I have dealt with them on my own? Yes, but I am limited in what I am capable of. Thus why I need the staff. I have been unfairly banished. But some curious magister managed to poke a hole in my prison cell. And that has afforded certain luxuries, visitation rights. Thus the staff. What I can tell you is this. This individual. They are Fae. Like my children. They are what are known as changelings. Fae entities born into the bodies of humans. They share spirits. They are born and reborn over and over again. But if that spirit is destroyed, so ends the line. This servant of Balor seeks to destroy my children's spirits, to end their line. Either that or enslave them.
By putting them in these plant things?
No, by turning them to his cause. A join or die situation. I'm sure you all know that type.
What's his cause?
Bringing his distorted vision of the dreaming to your world. Thus the plants. Thus the Fomorians. Those things you know as Fomori, I believe. They're similar to creations Balor was known for.
Okay, and how do we stop them?
Well, you found the iron. That's good. And it works. The servant will be a little bit more difficult to deal with. The iron isn't as effective. But it still works. They are just more resilient against it, unlike the others. So it's just going to take a little bit more of that so-called elbow grease to make it work. But if I know anything about you shape changers, you have the resilience and strength to make it work. I miss the days when our people would work so well hand in hand together. Perhaps, once all is said and done, we can take this back to our people to show that maybe an alliance can happen once again. But that's far down the line.
I'm open to helping your people. Again, it is a mutual problem. And I appreciate whatever help you can do with the spirit later down the road. But would your people be open to helping us solve this problem?
You can understand their hesitation. They are afraid of direct conflict with this servant of Balor. But they do have abilities. They do have strengths. And there are ways that they can assist. Some of them are still rediscovering their gifts, finding connection to their glamour. But they can be of assistance in many ways. Now, it may take some convincing, and I will do everything I can to assist you in that effect. But they are very fragile. Keep in mind, they share the bodies of humans. They don't have that same fortitude that your people have. As if this human body dies, they will just simply be reborn in another human body, and then they will have to await until they awaken again. But Ravi is the key. He can convince the others to assist. He has a good rapport with Jace. Jace can convince Ravi. Ravi will convince the others. They can help you with the plants, but they will not confront the servant directly, because he is their weakness. That is what they're most afraid of. And for good reason. That servant could very much end their line permanently. And you have to understand, when you've lived countless lifetimes, the end is a very, very harrowing prospect. Perhaps you don't understand, but it is.
It's different for us.
Just so I have everything understood. If we fix Jason from what ails him, and he has the staff, you still have access to him, correct?
Correct.
And
As long as he has the staff, he has access to the dreaming.
And if he were to give the staff to someone else, you would have access to them?
Yes.
Is
Now,
there an
depending on the individual, that can be a good or a bad thing. Jace was a perfect candidate because he was of good heart and solid mind. Moses before him was, well, the creator of the staff. And in creating it, his mind was pliable afterwards, and therefore a perfect candidate. But another, with a more domineering mind, that could be problematic. Another with cruel intentions. Another with knowledge of my people and their powers. Getting that kind of access to the dreaming would be a terrible thing indeed. That is why I needed someone I could trust to safeguard it. That is why I chose Jace.
Speaking of the possibility of problematic people getting their hands on it, we've brought up an option to be able to keep the staff on Jace without him holding it, but it is Garu magic. How would that interfere with the staff's power? Your power?
I don't know, but I'm very curious to find out. I know you've likely read and heard a great many interesting things about the Fae, the She, my people. I will tell you this. I've done many things, some that I'm not proud of, many that I am. I have no ill intentions. My people have no ill intentions. We have always been, and always will be, the trailblazers, the guides. All I wish to do is guide my people along the path to safety, to show them the silver road. I
Could
am
I roll
not. Oh, please.
Could I roll an insight just
Yeah.
to be positive that he has no ill intent?
Yeah,
Can I assist with that?
sure.
Take an extra die.
Three.
You don't know. He is hard to read, possibly because it's through Jace. You're pretty sure he's telling the truth.
I apologize if we seem a bit quiet. It's a bit of a jarring situation we've gotten ourselves into.
Of course. My people have survived as long as they have by their secrecy, something I'm sure your people know very well. This was of a
Absolutely.
necessity more than anything else. This was a bold move by the servants of Balor. And they have sought out, using the resources of this company I've heard you speak of, to hunt down others of my people. That is why I needed to take action. That is why I needed to safeguard and protect them. That is why I have been so active as of late. Normally, I would just be happy to passively walk amongst your people and travel and enjoy seeing the world, but now I had to take action. And I had to get your people involved.
You said that Balor was responsible for the creation of the Fomori.
Not the creation of, but was involved with, yes.
So he and his followers, I guess now that he's dead, have been working with the worm for a long time.
Well, that's where things get complicated. The Fomorians were are a race of people of their own. This is where our mythologies cross over, I suppose. They're from our side of the fence, the Fomorians. Now, your Fomori manifest like our Fomorians. And in a way are similar, if not the same. So I suppose, in a way, yes, they work in concert. But have they been tied? Not necessarily. This would be the first time I can say for certain that they, in my experience, have worked so closely hand in hand. At least that I've experienced directly. Again, my people tend to stick to our own affairs. We don't get involved usually in the affairs of other people.
Is there any process for unbinding these Fomorians from the bodies they occupy?
I was surprised to see what you were capable of. Saving your friend was quite a feat. Usually it's destruction. Fomorians are usually creatures unto themselves. Very rarely are they bound to anything. This is a new development. When we encounter Fomorians, we usually encounter them directly in the dreaming. Massive creatures, giants, like the Cyclops from your myths. But I suppose, like your, what is it you call them, Banes, you could exercise them, but at a certain point, there would be no turning back. Destruction would be the only way. Or they have devastated and desecrated whatever was there beyond repair. What you must understand is the way our people work is we were always what we inhabited, what we were born into. We just forgot what we were when we were first born. At least my children. I've always remembered what I am.
How do we access you in the future? Same way, if we have more questions?
Yes.
Aspen will look over at the rest of the group, looking to see if there's any more questions.
Eliza has been furiously writing in a notebook, just letting you do most of the talking. Charles has been gripping the edge of the table, but just stoically staring. Well, if there's nothing else, I will let you have your dear Jace back. He has been a kind custodian, and I assure you, he is not being damaged by this affair. I would not do such a thing. He is very kind to take on this responsibility. And in return, the illness will not affect him. the least I can do.
We appreciate your help with that so far.
Of course.
And we'll do our best to take care of the problem.
If there's anything I can do, let me know.
Thank you, Eshu.
Well, good luck. And with that, Jace's head dips forward again. And he snorts and then sits up.
How'd it go? Did it work?
We're still alive.
It's a good start.
It went all right. He said you should probably talk to Ravi about how he and the others can help. They're not going to face this servant. It's not Balor, by the way. It's not a god. It's just apparently Balor's dead. He's just a servant of Balor trying to bring about some weird nightmare reality.
That seems more compatible than a god. So
Right.
okay, that's good news. But no, I can talk to Ravi. I think we get along.
Said they'll most likely help with the plants, but they're not going to face the servant.
Okay. Yeah. More than happy to talk to them.
Well, good. Then that means we need to speak with spirits. We need to figure out the iron, potentially make a spear. Get everything prepared so when all of that comes to a head, of course you talk to Ravi, Jason. When all of it comes to a head, we have a good idea as to what we're doing. I will speak with Spud and see what else we can do on that front as well. And potentially have a conversation with Alice if it comes to that. But for now, let's prepare to look into this farm.
I think, as much as I hate the idea, it'd be best if Eliza and I stay back. Artie says we'll keep researching Eshu and anything else we can find out about the mythology of Balor. That actually did give us a lot of stuff we can look into and search. She has some good new leads, and now with what Charles said about phosphorus and heat, maybe that gives us some new avenues, at least on how to combat the creatures, if not the plants themselves. If the iron doesn't work, these are some resources at least for combating the things that go bump in the night, if not the plants. So maybe we won't need as much iron for day-to-day use. So we'll work on that while you guys investigate the farm, but we'll see if we can get you that handy-dandy tattoo. He said he was willing to give it a shot, it seems. So we'll see how that affects the staff, and we'll do that, and then you guys can head out in a couple of days to go to the farm. And yeah, sounds like a plan. Just be careful.
We'll be
Aspen,
careful.
Do you still have that holy water?
Yes, I do.
Probably worth packing up to take with us.
That could work.
It's an option. It's been an option. I just been holding on to it, not knowing when to use it, really.
Might be good
Saving
to
it
pack
as
up in case of emergency.
or you saving it for a special perfume for you know who.
Well, if we talk to Alice, who knows? Maybe we'll get more.
So as the group concludes the meeting and makes preparations for traveling out to the circle in a few days. This is where we take our break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the trip to the farm. We'll see you shortly.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaboration with our partnered vendors, Dramatic Creations, Panchi Artista, Ember Fox Dice, Devlin the Bard, Champs Tramps, Howlin' Hop Tea. Links to our partnered vendors as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels can be found on our website, stpetebynight.com. You can follow SPbN on all socials with the hashtag StPeteByNight. If you wish to support our program, you can do so at ko-fi.com/stpetebynight to help keep the stories rolling.
And we're back. In the first half, the pack got together after the harrowing encounter with the large beast-like creature that Jace and Charles had. They talked about what happened. They made Jace an official member of the pack with Star's blessing. And then they spoke to Eshu, the strange fae-like entity that seems to be inhabiting Jace through the staff. They learned quite a bit about this servant of Balor that seems to be assisting Vanessa in the creation of these plants. Now, in the second half, they go to investigate the farmland, the field where Charles and Jace encountered the creature and the zombie-like mushroom people during their field training. So as you arrive, it's just before dusk, since Charles had informed all of you that these creatures only seem to come out at night. They don't come out during the day. That this is part of the intelligence that they seem to show, is that they don't show themselves during the day. They seem to take cover during the day, and that they literally can sprout up out of the ground and have shown an ability to sink into the earth to maintain their cover. So as you arrive just before dark, Charles, now driving a SUV, it seems that he's picked up while his car is in the shop being repaired, pulls over into the same driveway, Jace, to a farm plot. He stops and looks over to all of you. So, I have been able to identify several types of these infected, and I wanted to prepare all of you to the best of my ability what I've learned about the infected before we go into this encounter. We have the brutes, who are exceptionally strong. They have taken on physical deformities that make them a little more powerful in their strikes. However, when they have taken or sustained enough damage, they will explode with a yellow splatter or mist that does contain the spores and infection. If it hits any open wounds, there is a susceptibility that you could become infected. Then there are what I have classified the spitters. The spitters have the ability to launch a projectile out of their mouth, which is a creature into its own right. This creature will attach itself to you and attempt to inject you with the spores. If it makes contact with your bloodstream, it will most certainly infect you immediately. It may try for your face or any other place it can gain access. It will try to make an incision into a vital area like your side, your lungs, anywhere it can gain access to you. Then there are the volcanics. They are like the plants that shoot spores. They will do so, but are mobile. They open up from their chest. They have one of those plants growing out of their chest, and they will just explode outward and shoot out the same spray of spores from the center of their chest. And then there are the Frankensteins. We encountered one of these at the Stepford Hell. They will break apart and then stitch themselves back together from pieces into a mass. Doesn't matter how many pieces there are, they will find each other and attach into whatever large, massive form they can. I have seen a similar creation that the leeches have made, but out of flesh. This is made out of this organic mushroom material, this plant material, and flesh. Those are the types that I have found. Now we can add whatever this large monstrosity, this wolf creature is to it, but I don't know what it's completely capable of yet. And then, of course, there's the birds that we saw that can drop down and are attempting to stab and infect you.
I hate everything you just said.
Try encountering it firsthand.
No.
So we get rid of all of these or take care of them as we investigate. How do we stop them all the way from being in this area?
I have been using Dragon's Breath rounds. I've been using flares. I've been using phosphorus. Anything that burns to excessive temperatures of 500 plus degrees tends to do the trick, as long as it destroys all of the organic material, leaving no organic material behind to be rebuilt. That does the trick. If there is even a little bit left, it can rebuild. It can regenerate. That seems to be the issue. Like the hand that the young pack brought back, it continued to regrow unless it was completely destroyed. If it has anything left to grow, it can sink into the ground and continue to grow, which is why I've had to come back here and keep trimming back whatever grows. Partially, I've left a little bit behind so I could continue to study.
Kill it with fire. Got it.
The moving creatures, yes. Anything that grows in the ground either needs to have everything removed or iron seems to work. If you want to save anyone from the infection, iron is the only thing that'll work, other than destroying them. Any other questions?
Good.
Good.
We'll do
Yeah.
as we did before. He says, looking towards Jace and Jester, I'll set up the perimeter of lights. We'll trim back anything that attacks, and then rather than maintaining in our position, we'll push forward and start to investigate to see if we can find any evidence of the creature or anything else we can find. And then we'll see what it is that they're hiding or protecting here. I'd like to check out the farmhouse specifically. That's where I believe that they started. With that, Charles gets out of the car and moves to the trunk, opening it up. There is an entire case of flares that he opens up and starts passing out, as well as an entire box of shotgun shells, all seeming to be Dragon's Breath rounds. He passes a shotgun to Jace and starts giving him a bunch of the Dragon's Breath rounds and offers out whatever anybody needs to them.
I'll take the flares, but not the guns. Also scanning the area. Are there any other farmhouses or farms close nearby, or is this one like the only one for miles?
This, not for miles, but as far as you can see from here. But it is, I mean, there are trees and kind of stuff off in the horizon that are breaking eyesight. There are probably other farm properties nearby, but they would be, this is a pretty large farm plot, it seems.
Okay.
Like you could probably see one dotting the landscape off in the distance a little bit.
I'm gonna shift to Glabro.
Okay.
I'm not shifting yet.
As everyone arms up, Charles also opens another box that appears to be full of glow sticks and grabs a whole handful of glow sticks and shoves them in his pockets.
I'll grab some of those too.
I'll grab a few.
As the sun fully sets and twilight is all that remains, he then moves out to the same position in the farm field that you've been to, Jace and Jester, before. And he takes up a stance and waits. And once the last bit of light disappears beyond the horizon, he cracks the glow sticks, shaking them up, and then in a sweeping arc throws them in a complete circle around him, making a circle of lights all around the area. Some time passes, and in about 15 minutes or so, the ground starts to shake ever so slightly, the grass starting to sway from side to side. Go ahead, Noree.
Like while we're waiting, I would like to do Song of Rage.
Okay.
During this time also, I would like to go into Glabro.
Okay.
I got 3 successes.
Okay. So, what
And
does
I made
Song
my
of Rage
risk
do?
My brain is not working. Hold on. Everybody, yeah. Difficulty 3. If successful, all members of the pack within earshot gain a point of rage. I did not get a critical, so.
Okay.
And also with my Luna's Blessing, I will gain a point of rage as well.
Okay, so I will say that everyone is at 3 rage now. Everybody started at 2. This takes you up to 3.
I have a question.
Yes.
I've been at 2 at low lying this entire time since Bateman. Would this bring me up to 4 or am I at 3?
No, I would say you're at 3. If you've been at that low lying 2, you stayed at low lying 2 for this and then went up to 3 now.
Okay.
This wasn't any more angering than you already were. Okay. So out of the ground, creatures start to rise. You can see them outside the ring of lights. And they seem to all be coming from one side of the ring at this point, just further out in the field. A variety of silhouettes just start to rise up. They are a variety of sizes and heights. Some of them are maybe about 2.5, 3 feet tall. Others are about 6.5, 7 feet tall. They have massive growths coming out of their form. Several of them, or at least all of them, look inhuman at this point. None of them bear standard humanoid shapes. Some of them are missing arms. Some of them have extra seeming appendages growing out of them, as if they have been several different individuals put together over time. As they start to move forward, Charles pulls out his sawed-off shotgun and holds it out in the direction of the shapes looming forward and prepares to fire. Everyone declare their intentions. Starting with Aspen, and we'll just move in order. Aspen, Jester, Lucas, and Jace.
I will... How close are they to the circle? Like any...
I would say they're probably about 20 feet beyond the edge of the circle, and I'll say that the circle itself is about 20 feet radius from the center. So 40 feet out is the closest one.
Okay, I'm gonna wait for one of the smaller ones, maybe one without an arm, to get closer and head for that one.
Okay. I'll let you go ahead and roll your attack now, because this will be kind of like a random amount of time. I'm not going to make it 6-second rounds or anything like that. Jester, what's your intention?
Was checking something. I'm going to shift into Krynos. There are rocks on the ground, right?
This is an open field, so there aren't exactly rocks out in the ground.
Okay.
This is a farmland field.
Nah, I'll actually just shift into Krynos and move up. I'm not gonna actually attack them yet. Wait for them to come to us. But
Okay.
we'll move in front of Jace and Aspen.
So you want to be in Krynos waiting, just in a defensive stance?
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and make the 2 rage checks.
I made one, failed the other.
Okay. Give me a strength and brawl regardless, because one of the largest ones will come up and kind of try to bypass you.
Okay.
Lucas.
Jester, what side? Did you go to the side with Charles or the side with Jace?
The side with Jace at the moment.
Okay. I'll bop over to the opposite side, not wanting to get within the field of fire of either Jace or Charles, and I will also shift to Krynos and ready my clave.
Okay. You can go ahead and make your attack. You don't even have to ready it. I'll say that you're encountering. And
So
then,
we can just say we're encountering them?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to make you wait extra rounds for stuff to attack. We'll just say they're coming in.
Both rate checks are good.
Okay. And Jace.
With Jester moving in front of Aspen and seeing Lucas pop over, saying 2 and 2, gonna try and say somewhat sending him move over, just more of a support, like whoever needs help.
Okay.
Just kind of waiting and seeing where he can aid. Because he does have a shotgun and he knows from Charles he can't just fire that. He needs to be a
So
little
you
bit
do
more
have
aware.
kind of a clear path in front of you, and there are an even spread of them around the front arc of the circle. So you could shoot into some of them in front of you. I mean, there are plenty of them to fire upon. There's none that you need to aid per se. Like, you've got dealer's choice, basically, of these mushroom zombies to fire upon.
We'll kind of stay more in the center still, move
Okay.
forward a little bit within equal proximity to both groups of 2, and then but we'll fire out, hoping to at least get a few of them.
Okay. So let's start with Aspen. What'd you get?
4.
Okay, with 4 successes. And what? I'm sorry. Remind me again what you were doing.
I want to go for one of the ones that are smaller, maybe missing an arm. One of the weaker ones.
What are you doing as your attack?
I am going to jump at them and just start hitting.
Okay, so you just want to use fists to pound on them?
Yep.
Okay. So as you leap at it and start to attack, you actually find that the mass of it, the form of it, this organic plant-like substance seems to be absorbing a lot of the blows you're hitting it with. It's almost like a porous, cushiony substance that as you strike it, it almost absorbs and it spreads out the impact of the blows so that it's not actually taking any damage from your strikes. It doesn't do any damage either. So basically you hit the difficulty, but did not exceed it. So you are just going toe to toe with it. Jester.
I got 4 successes.
Okay, so same thing. Even in your Krynos form, as you are kind of starting to rake and claw, you find that it is deflecting with these massive arms or catching your large kind of clawed arms and is holding you back. It's one of the large massive brutes that is just holding on to you and pushing back, holding at the edge of the circle. Lucas.
9 with a crit.
Okay, so with you, as you strike with the clave, you end up slicing through very nicely into one of the creatures, cutting it in half. As you do, it slices down the center and the 2 halves lop to the side, but the halves both start moving forward at you, still intending to attack. It's damaged, but it is still moving at you. Jace.
I don't know how I feel about getting this right at the beginning. Could mean anything but 5 with a crit.
5 with the crit. Unloading one of your Dragon's Breath rounds, you see it strike one outside of the edge of the circle and fire this phosphorus round, kind of consume one of the fleshy creatures. Fire starting to burn white hot out of the porous wound of it and starting to engulf it in flame, letting out that shrill shrieking and sizzling sound. Charles also unloads a shotgun round into one, which explodes with a splatter, burning chunks flying off in separate directions. Next round, declare your intentions. Aspen, you are tied up with one, pounding on it, but the porous foundation of it just seems to be taking the blows. Go ahead and declare your intention and roll.
Okay. I would like to switch into Krynos. And for just knowledge, what kind does this one look like? Is it like got a bulb or a flower or what?
So this one looks like it is also one of the brutes that once it does kind of die, it's going to explode with the splatter of the yellowish mucus.
Gross. Okay, yeah, I'll go into Krynos and then I'll attempt to claw into it.
Okay, give me the 2 rage checks, and you will be at -2 for your attack.
Succeeded 1, failed 1.
Jester.
I'm on the brute. How close is the next one?
I would say it's probably going to be up on you in the next round if you don't dispatch this one, so you'll have 2 of them to deal with in the next round.
Okay, I want to toss this one into that one.
Okay, yeah, give me a good strength and brawl.
Okay.
And then Lucas. So you got the 2 halves coming at you. Now, if you want to attack both halves, you'll have to split your attack. If you want to attack one, you can roll a Dex and Athletics to dodge the other. It'll be a Dex and Athletics -1, though, to dodge the other.
Yeah, I'll attack one and dodge the other, so that's going to be -1 on both rolls?
No, you get your full pool to attack, but you get a -1 to dodge the other.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll attack one and dodge the other.
Okay, and then Jace.
Seeing Lucas is now fighting 2 things, gonna fire at one of them.
Okay. Aspen, what'd you get?
Another 4.
Another 4. So still pounding on it. It seems like it is still absorbing the attacks, and it is still trying to strike you back, but in your large Krynos form, you're not even feeling the attacks. It just feels like you're getting hit by kind of dry, crusty sponges that are just hitting you in the side. Jester.
I got 6 successes.
6 successes. Okay, this time as you grab, just digging your claws into the side, you're able to lift it up off of the ground and fling it at the other, sending it toppling, smashing into the other one. They both go down, but quickly kind of rise up to their feet again and side by side start lumbering towards you. Lucas.
Well, I got 5 successes on my attack, and on my dodge, I rolled nothing but 3 brutals on my rage dice.
So I'm sorry. So you got how many on the attack?
I have 5 successes on the attack, and on my dodge, it was nothing but brutals on my rage dice. That's it.
Okay. So you successfully stab it, but with the brutals on your rage dice, that is going to be a compulsion as you miss, or it does hit you. Let's get your compulsion up here as you are struck. And I will say you take 2 points of, or are you in a supernatural form?
Yes.
Okay, so you take 2 points of superficial damage that's already halved. And your compulsion is going to be... Feral instincts. Returning to an animalistic state, the guru regresses to a point where speech is hard, clothes are uncomfortable, and arguments are best settled with teeth and claws. For one scene, the character gains a 3 dice penalty to all rolls involving manipulation and intelligence. They can speak only in one-word sentences during this time.
I assume that I don't want to use my clave anymore either.
You can assume that, sure.
Okay.
Also, since you did take damage, you gain a point of rage.
Yeah.
Which is nice, but doesn't help.
Jace, go ahead and roll your attack. What'd you get?
Got 4 successes.
All right, so 4 successes. On the one that did strike him, you do manage to kind of nick it, but you did not get a full-on shot enough to prevent it from striking Lucas, thus sending him into a bit of a kind of anger spiral, causing him to just toss his clave off to the side. Charles, at this point, holsters his shotgun and pulls out 2 flares, igniting them and moving up beside Jester. Next round, Aspen. Or actually, he's going to move up beside Aspen because he sees she seems to be the one that is struggling right now. Aspen.
I'm going to claw it again because I don't want to put this gross plant thing in my mouth.
All right, go ahead and roll. Jester.
I'm gonna light up 2 flares. I'm also gonna use the flares. I would have to use melee and dex, right? With 2 of them.
Yes, and you would want to use dex because you are trying to stay away from the fire that is coming out, because fire bad for Guru.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I'm gonna activate ancestors for melee as well.
Okay.
2 successes on that. But I'm gonna light up the flares and go in and attack. So.
Now, there are 2 of them. Are you attacking both, or are you attacking just one of them? You can split the pool. You can roll it first and then decide how many successes to give to one or the other, or you can attack one and dodge the other.
Yeah, I'm gonna attack one and try to dodge the other.
Okay, so full attack on one, Dex and Athletics -1 on the other.
Okay. You can move on.
Okay. Yes, Lucas. So you have abandoned the clave at this point, either sticking it into the ground or tossing it off to the side. What's your attention now?
So there's still 2.
There are still 2 halves, both of them focused on you.
The one that got me, I don't know what these weirdos are doing with their guns and their other stupid shit. I'm just gonna do a good old bite and shake.
Okay. So you want to just grab it and bite it. You're in Glabro form, yes?
No, I'm in Krynos.
Oh, you're in Kratos, that's right. So you are just going down and okay. So yeah,
Yep.
give me the good old Dex and Brawl. Or Strength and Brawl. Sorry, Strength and Brawl. And then Jace.
Gonna try shooting that other half again.
Okay. Yep, give me that. Are you aiming? Are you going for composure in firearms, or are you doing the Dex and firearms, just kind of
Dex
swing and
firearm.
gun? Okay. Yep. So as you swing out, trying to fire at the other one, the one that's been missing so far. Okay. Aspen, what do you got?
7 successes.
7 successes. Sick of this spongy bullshit. Shifting into Krynos, you finally dig your claws in and start raking, ripping this porous bullshit apart. You're tearing off chunks of this spongy flesh, getting a good just handful off. And as you're pulling it apart, you're finding a mix of this blood and yellowish pus coming out with each handful that you're pulling away. Jester.
Okay. For the melee attack, I got 9 with a double crit.
Okay.
And then for the dodge, I got 6.
Okay. So as you step in, well, not even step in, I'll say you leap in, driving your claws into one and bringing it down. You tackle it to the ground with your claws, burying your claws in.
I got the flares.
Flares. Yeah, you drive the flares in, bringing it down into a burning heap while the other one tries to swing a large lumbering arm at you, but it just breezes past you as you burn its friend down to the ground in that same hissing, squealing, just burning sensation. The smell is sulfurous, but also like if you burned mushrooms and mustard almost in the oven for too long. But you're holding the flares to it. I need you to make me a composure and resolve as the fire is very, very close to you. Fire bad for Garou.
Also, I spent a willpower on that.
Okay.
The attack. So.
Yep.
3 successes on the composure and resolve.
Okay. You're okay enough to keep holding the flares down on it to keep burning it. Lucas.
Well, dice pool of 8. There was 4 regular dice and 4 rage dice. I got 2 brutal criticals, 2 brutals. That's 4 brutals on my rage dice. So once again, a full rage pool of brutals and 3 successes.
Okay. Yeah, you completely annihilate. Like with your bite and shake, the shake just sends fleshy chunks showering off in different directions, leaving you with a disgusting mouthful of this porous, fleshy, mustardy, disgusting taste, which you easily spit off to the side. However, I do need you to make a stamina and resolve check as it is in your mouth.
Is that with the Krynos bonus?
That is with the Krynos bonus, yes. Your health is much higher.
5 successes.
You're fine. You do not feel any ill effects. You're able to discard that disgusting bile from your mouth. Nothing seems to be taking hold. You're good. Jace, the other half that is attempting to claw at Lucas. What do you get?
Really happy everyone did so well this round that I got 1.
Okay, you find your round hitting dirt. The dirt actually starting to burn the grass next to it as the Dragon's Breath round just ignites earth with fire, but not the creature itself. Aspen, as you are tearing at hunks, Charles comes up next to you and starts igniting the creature beneath you, starting to burn it, trying to keep the chunks from actually reforming as they are trying to stitch back together. He ends up kind of pushing you off to the side a little bit as you are still ripping into it, trying to keep it all together and keep you from throwing chunks to the side so that they don't just come back as other pieces. But the two of you successfully dispatch of the creature with your combined successes so that there is nothing left to reform. The fire and your claws doing enough damage to completely devastate and destroy it. Next round. Aspen, there is a half still over by Lucas. There is one still over by Jester. There is one she's still holding down, burning, but there's another one that's up. And there are, I'll say, 3 more still coming close.
Okay. I'm going to go to one of the other 3.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and...
Jester looks okay in her situation,
Yeah, she's
right?
fine. She doesn't look like she's been touched at all.
Yeah, then I'll run over to the closest of the other 3.
Okay. Jester, so you can continue to burn this one. It's not dispatched of yet. You'd have to keep burning this one to get rid of it entirely. But you also have the other one still trying to attack you. Now, I will say, if you want to dispatch this one, you can, but you do have to absorb the hit of the one that is attacking you because there's no dodging while you're holding flares to this one. Like, you have to stay in place holding the flares to this one.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
And there's a possibility I might... Oh, the question is, like, with the flares in this one, is it... Because they're flares. I was thinking possibly, like, using this one to block any, like, hits coming from the other one, like, roll and...
So you want to, like, prop this one up?
Yes, while still burning it, but I don't know if I can do that because...
You
like,
would have
flares...
a big burning mass basically on top of you at that point. That'd probably not be a good idea. Oh, because you also have burning chunks falling on you at that point as well, which, that wouldn't be great. So
I'll just absorb the hit. I'll just absorb the hit and dispatch this one.
Okay, give me a composure and resolve check as the burning is happening, and take 2 points of superficial damage from the hit of the other one trying to hit you.
Three successes in the composure and resolve.
Okay, yep, you can still keep burning it till it's gone. But you do take the 2 points of superficial damage as the other one clubs you, but not enough to knock you off of its companion, which you burn to just cinders at this point.
Does it explode because it's one of the big brutes while burning?
Because you're burning it, no.
Okay.
The burning actually keeps it from exploding.
Okay, good job.
Lucas.
I'm going to turn and kind of growl side-eye at Jace, and then just start swinging my hands on the one that's on the ground as hard and fast as I can.
Okay, give me your strength and brawl. Jace.
Noticing the growl, we'll let him play, and we'll move on, kind of look around what's going on, see that Jester has one attacking from the back try and move to the side, so that way I don't hit her with if I happen to miss with any Dragon's Breath round, making sure that it's within safe proximity.
Okay. That one I'm going to say you're going to have to make the composure and firearms just because that is a very specific aim job and not a dexterity and firearms swinging gun because there is too much randomity with the dexterity on that one. You're trying to specifically get a good angle. So yeah, give me the resolve, or no, composure and firearms. Yeah. So Aspen, what'd you get?
I used willpower and I got 6.
Okay, with 6 successes, again, you're finding yourself clawing nicely into this one. This one, however, does have the open jaw that seems to be hanging open with this large, massive hole that seems to be a throat. And you can see this almost like bud starting to grow out of its throat. And you can hear it kind of inhaling as if it's getting ready to spit something. So roll me a dexterity and athletics -2. Okay. So as you are tearing it apart, it spits, and this almost like bat-winged shaped creature with a thorn sticking out of its like center comes flinging out and sticks to your side. Go ahead and take 1 point of aggravated damage as it sticks to the side of you and starts clinging on. We'll resolve what happens with that shortly. Lucas. As I resolved Jester already. Lucas, what'd you get?
8 successes.
8 successes. Okay. You are having no problems ripping this thing apart. Since it was already in half, you're able to completely finish this half off with that attack. Jace. 6. Okay. You fire and strike a good dead-on shot into the one that's attacking Jester, sending it reeling and falling back off of Jester after it clubs her and turns its attention away from Jester and starts trying to lumber its way over to you, but it is not doing well because that shotgun blast sent a burning hole into its side to the point that it is now struggling to stay on its feet. All right, next round. Aspen, you have this thing attached to you. You can continue to claw at the spitter, or you can try to remove what it has spat on you.
Okay. Can I light a flare and shove it in its little Dilophosaurus making flower mouth neck hole?
So you want to shove it in the spitter, or you want to deal with the thing that's on you?
No, I want to put it in the spitter.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. Go ahead. So roll me a dex and melee.
Could I use Dex and Brawl?
Because it's the flare? No. Oh, well, you're trying to shove it in?
I'm just like fisting it into its body.
Just because it's a weapon, no, it's still melee. It is still a melee attack. It is a weapon, so like a dagger, even though you're stabbing, it would still be a weapon that you're shoving into somebody. So I would say the same rules still apply. Because you're still trying to avoid the burny end, even if you are shoving it in.
Right. So that's 5 with a crit.
Still works. Yep, you jam it in there and it starts to shriek and howl, clawing at its throat as it starts to burn from the inside out and drops backwards. This one does explode, but not in mucus, but instead in flame as it bursts from the inside out. More of those little bat-wingy creatures come bursting out of its big bulbous belly, but they are also burning as they come flopping out of the inside with their little wings kind of hitting at the ground as they're flapping around it, but they are just burning and shriveling up from the kind of phosphorus fire coming out of the flare that you have shoved in its throat. It is very much dead. However, roll me a stamina and resolve as the one that is attached to you begins flooding you with toxins. Don't forget, you have the bonus dice from being in Krynos, so you are still...
Oh, okay.
It is a physical stat, so you do get the 4 bonus dice.
5.
You are able to resist the toxins this round, but you will have to roll it every round this thing is still attached to you. Okay. Let's go to Jester.
So the one that hit me is now headed towards Jace.
Yes, the one that you're on, though, is dead. Very much dead. And the flares have gone out.
The flares have gone out? Okay. What is the one that is it another brute?
The one
going
that,
after
yeah.
Jay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna pounce it from behind and claw it for now.
Okay, I will give you a bonus dice on this as it is not paying attention to you.
Cool.
Lucas.
What's left?
There is there's the spitter that she dealt with. There is one of the flowery volcanic ones, and there is a Frankenstein. The Frankenstein seems to have multiple limbs that are coming out of it, aka it gets multiple attacks and can fight multiple opponents. It is the largest of all of them. Yeah, that's it. That isn't tangled up. And then there's the brute that's fighting Jester and Jace.
How far away is the volcanic one? Is that reachable?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I will run towards that and attempt to get a grab onto it, like a solid grab onto like one of its arms.
Okay.
In preparation to throw it.
I will say, first you have to roll me a dexterity in athletics before you get a face full of spores before you get there, because it is going to erupt and blast at you first, but I will let you make an attack as well. Actually, you're going to have to make the dexterity and athletics at full pool. Your attack will be at a -1.
Seven on the dex and athletics.
You are fine. The spores go shooting outwards in the explosive volcanic fashion that these plants do, but you are able to dodge out of the way and make your attack. And I will come back to that. Jace.
Do I see Jester trying to come up from behind it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. If I tried like aim at its leg, I'd be at a -2 because it'd be a cold shot.
It's a called
at that
shot.
Point.
Yep.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? Try to shoot in the leg, try and mobilize it further.
Sure. You can do the dex and firearms now.
Even though I'm aiming for the certain
Oh, well,
spot?
you are going, well, since you're doing a called shot, you're already taking the -2. I'll let you do the dex and firearms. Why not?
Okay. Three.
It misses. Doesn't hit Jester, but it just misses.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, that would be really bad.
So I resolved Aspen. Jester.
I got 5 successes.
5 successes. Okay. You are able to claw into it, doing a little bit of damage, but not too much, just enough to kind of tear off a hunk of it. Are you just doing claws? You didn't ignite another flare or anything?
Right. I was just doing claws at the moment.
Okay, yep. You just rend into it.
I was trying to pounce it and like take it to the ground, but...
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I'll just say you were able to jump onto it as it was distracted by the gunfire. You jump onto it and drive it down to the ground.
Cool.
Lucas, show me your attack.
8 successes to grab the volcanic one and throw it at the Frankenstein.
Okay. So after having blasted out its explosive volcanic blast of spores, you dodge out of the way of the spores, grabbing it with your claws, wheeling around almost in a 360 spinning motion, and chuck it, sending it flying at the Frankenstein. It collides in the side of this large, massive, multi-armed figure and just smashes it, but then drops to the ground next to it. This large creature is so stocky and sturdy, it doesn't even, it shakes, but it doesn't fall over. It is so it's so like solid and bottom heavy, it doesn't drop. Charles goes into Krynos and charges the Frankenstein, just diving into it full bore with his claws and starts raking and rending into it. Next round, Aspen.
I would like to take the gross thing off of me and rip it in half.
Okay, give me a strength and brawl. Jester.
Yeah, I'm just gonna rip this thing.
Okay, yeah, give me another strength and brawl. Lucas.
How's the volcanic one doing? Did it get back up?
Yeah, it's beat up, but it's coming back to its feet. And it looks like it's filling up to prepare another volcanic blast.
I'm going to try to get to it and grab its leg before it can go off. And
okay.
I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to beat the Frankenstein with the volcanic one.
Okay, give me a strength and melee, but give me a -2, just because it will try to resist you using it as a weapon. But I will say you can still do it, because it's not primarily a combatant. It's meant to be a ranged fighter. So you can grab it and use it, but it is going to try and resist. And yeah, Jace.
Observing around, can I look around the outskirts and see if anything else is out there watching? Because last time, about this time, is when he noticed what was going on.
Sure, give me a wits and awareness. Aspen.
Yes, I got 8 with a crit. I used another will.
Can you give me your stamina and resolve first? Because it does get another
Yes.
chance to infect you this round before we do resolve you taking it off.
Five.
You are fine. Okay. And then you got an 8 with a crit?
Yes.
Okay. As you rip it off of you, you feel the barbs tear out of you, doing another aggravated damage as it does rip itself out of you. But you are able to successfully rip it in half, but sending it squealing and shrieking in your hands as it breaks apart and drops to the ground.
I would like to throw it into the fire.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
After I rip it in half.
Absolutely. Yep. It burns up and dissolves. Absolutely. But yeah, you have successfully removed it and not gotten infected for your efforts, but it did hurt really bad going in and coming out. Jester.
6 successes.
6 successes. Okay, yeah. You still on top of it are ripping and shredding. It is sturdy, so you have not quite torn it to shreds yet. It is absorbing a lot of the efforts, and you are taking off chunks of it, but it is still there. It is still holding on. These brutes are very sturdy, and without the fire doing most of the work, it just takes a lot of effort to tear them apart. But you've still got the upper hand on it for sure. You got it pinned to the ground and you are ripping it to shreds, but it is just sturdy. Lucas.
7 successes to beat one with the other one.
Okay, so as you pick up the volcanic and start swinging it around, you slam it into the side of the Frankenstein, hitting it with the volcanic, and you hear this just disgusting squelching noise as the pouch on the front, the volcanic pouch of it, smashes the front of the Frankenstein and almost splatters. And you see this kind of disgusting yellowish kind of squelch across the side of the Frankenstein as it spreads along the side of it, as if the spores, before they could fully form, got smashed and made a painting along the side of the Frankenstein creature. You have successfully caved in the volcanic front of it so that it can't shoot spores again. It is still alive, so-called, but it cannot shoot again next round like it should have. So you got one more attack on the volcanic before it is destroyed, but it won't be able to shoot spores at you this round like it should have. So, Jace.
Okay. I got 3 successes. The other 3 were all 0, so that's brutals.
Okay.
But can I argue that I am intuitively trying to witness what's going on?
You are. I will say
Okay.
that is enough to get that as a critical and not to fail. So, yes. Okay. As you are looking around the perimeter, looking around the outskirts, your eyes tracing the horizon, you don't see a massive hulking form. Instead, you see 7 smaller wolves circling around the outskirts. All of them look like smaller versions of the large wolf you encountered. All of them have the same glowing green eyes. All of them have roots and moss that make up their bodies. They're all keeping a distance, circling around, watching the conflict happening. And they're pretty far away, but they're all spread out in an even circle around.
I'm near Jester, right?
Yeah.
Going to, while she's doing her thing, keep an eye contact with one, gonna go over and tap her in the shoulder and point, and then, Charles! Charles! Trying to get his attention.
Okay. Next round. Aspen. Oh, Charles is obviously tangled up with the Frankenstein in full Krynos, tearing at it, ripping it apart. Aspen, declare your intention.
I will go to the Frankenstein
Okay.
and help Charles.
Go ahead and give me your strength and brawl. It can attack and defend against multiple opponents, so there is no giving advantage dices here or anything like that. Everybody gets just straight attacks. It has enough appendages to be able to fend off multiple opponents and attack multiple opponents.
5.
5 successes. Okay. This one, you are not able to get any ground on. As you try to attack it, it is just too big and too strong that it just knocks aside your attack and instead bats you off to the side, sending you kind of sprawling to the ground, taking a point of superficial damage as it just bats you aside with one large muscular arm, kind of tree branch arm attached to one of its sides, I guess. Yeah, that takes no damage whatsoever from you. Jester.
You're tapping me on the shoulder, Jace?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like pointing to the outskirts of the wood. Not sure if you can see it, but and it's screaming for Charles.
Is the place where Jace missed when his shot, is that still on fire?
It burns pretty quickly, but I would say, yeah, you know what? This is a pretty fast combat, so yeah, I'd say it's still burning.
I kind of want to I know I'm on top of it. I kind of just want to drag it. Like if I have my claws in this creature, just drag it towards the fire and just hold it on the fire.
Sure, give me a strength and athletics. Why not?
Okay.
You've done a substantial amount of damage to it, so I would say you could finish it off with a good enough drag. Lucas.
I'm gonna take one last swing with the volcanic one.
Okay.
And try to pulp it.
Yeah, give me that.
Same as.
Yep, same as before. It still can resist and squirm to make it a little harder to swing like a bat, but
We'll fix that.
And Jace.
Trying not to lose track of what's going on. Is it possible just to keep surveillance?
Yeah,
to see
absolutely. With your
people...
successes, you know exactly where they are.
Yeah, just gonna keep eyeing, keep making sure that they're not moving in and they're just staying on the outskirts.
Okay, yeah, they have not started advancing. They seem to be all staying in position. In fact, they're not even moving. They're just in position, all facing inward, poised, and actually kind of poised with their haunches arched as if they're ready to charge in.
Just gonna hold off. Just keep an eye on things.
Yeah. Jester, what'd you get?
I spent a willpower and I got a brutal as well. So +4, that's 8 successes.
Your intention is to do damage here, so I'll let that pass, even though it's not an attack. So yeah, you drag it over to the fire. What's left of it starts to burn and erupt to the point that you can release it, and it will just go up in flames. And Lucas, what you got?
7 with a brutal.
Yeah, okay, so this time as you, once again, in a almost 360 arc, swing it to slam it against the Frankenstein, as it hits, it just breaks in half, just shattering along the midsection where the caved-in volcanic is. It is just too broken to maintain its form to the point that it snaps at the midsection, dropping down to the ground. The spores, not even what's left of the spores, not even exploding out, just kind of plumping on the ground in a weak little pile that dissolves almost instantly. The two halves of it are still there, but they're just kind of twitching masses. They'll need to be burned to be destroyed, but they are incapacitated at the moment. That'll just be cleanup work afterwards. They are not doing anything else now. They don't work the same. And yeah, next round, top of the order.
Okay. Because I'm spacing, remind me, and for the viewers at home, hey. What is it to heal and regenerate aggravated?
It is 2 rage checks per aggravated to heal.
Okay, then I will be doing that. and I will try and jump back on the big monstrosity.
All right, so roll those rage first. Jester. So you saw that Jace was trying to gesture to something on the outskirts while calling for Charles, which prompted you to want to finish off the brute that you were dealing with before following his or paying attention to him at all.
Yeah, I'm actually, now that the immediate danger is dealt with, I'm going to look with what he was pointing at.
Roll me a wits and awareness. I will give you a bonus die because of his pointing to try and pick up, notice what he's gesturing to.
Oh, got a crit. 5 successes.
Okay. Following his directions, you do catch sight of these wolf-sized creatures out in the distance, all poised. You don't catch all 7 of them. I'll say maybe you see 2 of them, or at least you see the ones on that side, 2 or 3 of them on that side, all evenly spaced apart, all poised, ready to charge in, it seems, watching the conflict.
I have a question.
Yes.
So they are not in physical conflict with us, right?
Not right now.
Okay, and I am not in physical conflict.
Not right now.
I would like to use stare down.
Okay.
It says like the gift can't be used in physical conflict, so I would like to stare these wolf creatures down.
It fails. Nothing happens.
Okay. I mean, I'll make my rage check because I still
Yeah, go
activated
ahead.
it.
Yeah.
I made it, but okay.
As you try to connect with, there's nothing there to connect to. If there was a conscience, if there was a sentience or a life form in it, it's not there.
All right.
Almost like this is an automaton. So it
Good.
cannot be scared.
Good to know. I will also spend my willpower so that I do not shift or frenzy since I'm in Krynos and I'm not doing damage. That is it for me because that's what I'm attempting to do. So
Yeah, so as you like snarl and stare at it, there's nothing behind those burning green eyes. Just
okay.
Lucas.
Lucas will kind of give like a sad dog noise as he looks at the broken parts of the volcanic in his head, and he'll just drop them and look at the Frankenstein and look at Charles fighting it, and then he'll just open his mouth and go for the leg immediately and bite.
Yeah, give me that strength and brawl. Jace, you see that she has tried to intimidate the wolves and they have not twitched.
And they are still just stationary and not moving.
Actually, with the destruction of the volcanic, now they are starting to creep closer. All simultaneously, all at the same time, moving at an even pace.
While Jester's still there. There's 7. They'll kind of point in a circle. They seem to move when those die or take damage. I don't know. Can I activate umbral senses and see if they are on the other side as well? While Jester's standing there, feeling relatively safe.
Yeah.
Spend a will. Four.
So, as you activate penumbral senses and you look to the other side, it is a very strange sensation. There's nothing there. In fact, what you see are strands connecting to the places where these different wolves are. You see these cords that are basically shooting off in the distance. These long green strands that seem to be shooting off in the distance southward.
And they're all leading back to the same place.
Mhm.
They all
Almost like marionette strings.
relay that information to Jester. They're not around. Like, they're not there. It's just strings. That's where they're supposed to be.
You give a low growl. It's kind of like, yeah, kind of like understood or yeah, agreed.
Start backing up a little bit closer to where the rest of the pack is.
Okay, what'd you get, Lucas?
7 successes to bite one of the legs.
Definitely do. Yeah, you get a good mouthful and actually are able to tear off the leg. Still got lots more legs. Aspen.
I got 5 again.
5 again? Okay. Yeah, it's not quite enough. You're going to take another superficial as it just bats you aside with another lumbering arm. Charles is digging into it to the point that he has carved off a good chunk of it, but he has looked like he has taken quite a bit of damage as most of its limbs have turned on him and are pummeling on him, focusing on him in the front. So a lot of its front-facing limbs are just hitting him in the front, but he is tearing off the limbs as he goes. Top of the order, one more time for the Frankenstein. Aspen.
Okay. I would like to heal one of my superficial, and also I would like to not engage the Frankenstein again. Instead, I would like to do Howl of Assembly and howl into the moon, and with that, it's a difficulty 2. I roll Charisma Honor, but with that howling at the moon, would I gain a rage?
Okay. Oh, would you? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Jester.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover Jace as he's backing up and we're moving closer to the group. Glancing at the Frankenstein and the damage going there, but at Jace, I think I'm going to choose not to jump the Frankenstein with all these wolves circling us, and I'm going to keep a watch on that. So I will spend another willpower to stay in Kronos.
Okay. Lucas.
Biting another leg.
Yeah, that's strength and brawl. Jace. Can't hear you. Oh, sorry. Say that again.
Sorry. If I were to stop surveilling for a bit and were to shoot at the top of the Frankenstein, would I lose where the wolves
No.
are at? Okay.
No, you got so
back
many
in-
successes on that you can't
Okay.
lose sight of them. They are not even trying to hide, honestly. They're just moving in a straight line forward, so you know exactly where they all are.
Perfect. Then while backing up, getting close enough, seeing that Jester's not moving and covering him, he's going to turn and try and hit more of the upper section of the Frankenstein, so not to hit anybody else.
Okay. Yeah, give me the dex and firearms. And Aspen, what's the Howl of Assembly do?
So Howl of Assembly is a difficulty 2 with my Charisma and Honor, but if I succeed over the difficulty of 2, then everybody within 100 meters in my pack regains a willpower.
Okay. And did you succeed?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, so everybody regains a willpower. Lucas, what'd you get?
7 with a brutal.
7 with the brutal. Okay. And Jace, what'd you get?
4.
Okay. So with your combined efforts, the Frankenstein goes down Charles busts out flares and starts burning the various chunks. At this point, as the chunks are going up in flames, all of you, over the smoke of the burning husks, see the pairs of green eyes of 7 viney wolves circling in as they start to near the surrounding circle of glow sticks. They all pause about 20 yards away from the core group of you. At this point, one of the wolves steps forward, and both of its green eyes disappear, and one of the eyes blinks up red. I have no quarrel with you. Tell me where they are.
Don't know who you're referring to.
Lies.
Not a lie. I know a lot of people. I don't know who you are, though, so I'm not telling you shit.
The children of Eshu. Where are they hiding?
Don't know. Never heard of them. But the leash that it's holding you should probably yank pretty hard and get out of here, though. It's that way, by the way.
You would die to protect them.
Die for a lot of things. Are you willing to die here to find out?
You couldn't kill me last time.
That's why I brought some friends.
You don't have what it takes, mortal.
Part mortal. Just a third.
You die like a mortal.
You can die like weeds.
This creature can die like weeds.
You have no real power right now. Otherwise, you'd manifest it. Right now, this is just a test. See if we'll back down, and we won't.
I'm giving you an opportunity. A chance. Go ahead.
I would say at this point, Jester will just have enough of the talk, and she will bark out just a long growl bark, which is basically fuck off.
With that extra willpower I got from a pack leader, Lucas will activate the icy chill of despair, and the shadows around the entire pack will just start to coalesce, making them all look much larger and much scarier.
Go ahead and roll me a manipulation and intimidation, and I'll give you an additional die for every pack member.
actually. And I will use stare down because now there is something possessing this thing. So I'm going to try.
Go ahead.
With the fuck off.
Could I as well use stare down with her?
Go ahead.
Or give her an extra die, either way.
Both of you can activate it. I'll give you both your shot.
With seeing through the umbra, is it still just the strings, or do I see something else with this wolf?
It's still just the strings.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get information, so I'm not going to get my patron bonus, but I got 8 successes.
Yeah.
I got 4 successes.
6.
Yeah. It just stares as the shadows grow from the icy chill. I'll find them either way. But you have to ask yourself, while you're here, who's there? And the wolves start to back off. They turn, and the ones behind start to circle around and run until they disappear out of sight, leaving all of you standing in the field alone. And this is where our story comes to a close this evening, but not without one last scene. We're back at the cairn. Eliza and Artie are sitting at the table. Artie has his hand up against his face and he's tapping at his computer with the no internet signal. Just idly playing solitaire, as it is the only game that seems to work on his computer with no internet signal at the moment. Eliza is busily crocheting, watching Artie with a chuckle. And then, at the other side of the clearing, a figure emerges. A woman, bald-headed, with scales all around her face. The Mokale, known as She Who Shines, enters into the cairn. And with a hiss, she addresses the two elders. And this is where our scene comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everybody watching at home. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed down below, and come join our community by following that Discord link in the description. You could be part of one of the couple of tables we've got starting in the next couple of months, or you could take place in one of the incredible activities we have happening all month long. But for these amazing players, I'm Kent. Thank you so much for joining us. Tune in to Hellhounds on Friday over on YouTube at 7 p.m. and come back for another episode of Rage Across Tampa to see what happens next week here on Twitch on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Have a lovely night, everyone.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Rage Across Tampa is produced in agreement with the World of Darkness and Dark Pack. The storyteller for Rage Across Tampa is Kent. Tonight's characters were voiced by Preston, Champ, Noree, and Weiss. Visit our website at stpetbynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, fangs, stakes, and claws out.